Greetings. My name is Nilz Fullerton, also known as Nilz Inez Nikig. I am 49 years old, and I'm amazed that I'm sitting here on a day that my name was read in as a new name in the AIDS Memorial Grove here in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And I'm sitting in a booth that was created by my ex-boyfriend, Mark Smallowitz. Miracles abound. I never thought I would live at all. I never thought I would live to see a black president, gay marriage, legalized marijuana, and most of all, people living with HIV. In the fall of 1985, I went to Brown University and I met Stephen Gendon and fell in love, my first boyfriend. And the next year, he was the first person that any of us knew to become HIV positive. And I, like Dolly Parton admitted, I shook my fist at God. I just didn't want him to be I didn't want him to be the one. I said, why don't you take me, God? Take me, not him. He's the one that's more capable of fighting. And fight he did. Stephen was the founder of the Community Prescription Service. His writing and his legacy through Pause magazine and Act Up are well known, and he lived and fought bravely. I had a very difficult response often to HIV/AIDS as it continued. I didn't read a lot of Stephen's writings, or I didn't participate a lot. I acted out a lot. I had a whole lot of completely indiscriminate balls to the walls, unsafe and safe sex of all varieties, often with people who were HIV positive because they were more likely and capable of communicating, it seemed. And it almost seemed like I wanted to get the disease, or I wanted to be part of the people who were. I thought, I don't know if I thought, but over and over, I didn't get the disease, but I was embraced and loved increasingly by people within the HIV/AIDS positively positive queer movement. I moved to San Francisco, and here I fell in love one beautiful day during the Castro Street Fair. I just, through my friends from Brown, I met this guy, Mark Smallowitz, who was cute and adorable and hunky and dark-haired and juicy and Jewish, but what really won my heart was when we were sitting there eating our burritos, and this tall, menacing man started screaming, like, fuck the Jews, kill the Jews, burn, all that shit. And Mark, all of us, the rest of us were just stunned, didn't do anything. Mark got into his face and blasted at him. He screamed, stop, out. This bullshit will end now. Get out. You're in the wrong neighborhood. And I fell in love with him then. And I loved him, and I love him always. And I'm sitting in a booth in a project that was created by him and his collaborators. And I'm alive. I'm alive. What I really want to say as well is something that is also kind of difficult to admit, and that is I was only diagnosed with HIV year before last. You see, all those years of incredible sex adventures over and over and over. Um, I didn't share needles, but I used needles. I did everything, and I didn't become positive. And I developed a strange kind of mythological lie that I was perhaps immune to this disease. And other people sort of helped me perpetrate that lie. I was able to fend it off for many years, but I was not immune. And then I guess about 3 years ago, I started to get sicker and sicker and sicker. And these marvelously beautiful people, Barack and Michelle Obama, came into office, and as a result, there became all this amazing health care. And I started going to the doctor for the first time in my life, and I thought, well, I'm gonna find out what the heck's going on here. And I started doing tests and trying to narrow it down. And I thought I was having terrible night sweats and neuropathy in one hand and increasing difficulty thinking and concentrating and just not feeling good. And my doctors did all kinds of tests, but they didn't ask me about HIV. And then I thought, I haven't been tested in a few years. Well, just throw on HIV, I said. And so they did. And 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail saying that I'm HIV positive. Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather, but a grateful feather, because, hey, I found out what was wrong, and I was able to do what is right. Then I started taking the miraculous medications, and in 5 months, I became undetectable, and I'm doing a lot better. I've got a lot to work on, as we all do. And now, my friend Bill Cole has done the work in his artist activism of having Stephen's name and my name carved in the AIDS Memorial Grove next to each other. And I got today to hear Ryan White's mother speak. And the fund created in her son's name pays for all of my medical care and has saved my life. So thank you, Stephen Gendon, Mark Smolowitz. Thank you, Bill Cole. Thank you, Radical Fairies, Hush McDowell, and all of you marvelous people out there in the dark and in here in the light at the AIDS Memorial Grove. Let us keep on. Blessed be.